quicker.
Oh, off the road, into the barrier. Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. What an unusual sight that is to see. The four-time world champion bouncing through the gravel, into the wall and out of qualifying. It's another driver finding the wall, on board with Max Verstappen heading to turn one.
Yeah, just listen to the braking. Yeah, rear axle's gone straight away.
Yeah, it's early on in the braking, isn't it? So you could just hear the revs drop as the rear's locked solid for a moment.
Not even the cat-like reactions of Max Verstappen could do anything in that scenario. It's like the handbrake has been pulled on.
Yeah, it's the worst thing for a driver to have a massive rear brake, a high speed, a rear lock. It is just so difficult. How can you save that? We saw Hamilton have it in Spa last year in qualifying in the Ferrari. And that one for Verstappen, a little bit more dramatic, and he's found the barriers.
All okay, Max?
Yeah, I don't know, the car just locked on the rear axles. Fantastic.
It's an unusual sight to see a driver who finished last year with a run of 10 consecutive podiums, 3 wins on the bounce. A really, really unusual spectacle at the first turn of the racetrack.
It's not very often that we say Max Verstappen is out in Q1. Jolyon, what was your reaction when you saw that?
Shock, and I instinctively thought that can't be Max Verstappen that's pointing backwards towards the wall, but it was, and this is a strange thing from the car. We spoke about it on commentary, the sudden rear lock. So I think he is taking a downshift, but it's early on, and it doesn't sound like he's absolutely rattling through, but the rear axle just locked solid. He said it on the radio. It's a sudden rear lock, and to control that from the wheel is really, really tricky because it snaps so violently that there's really nothing he can do.
We've got to hope his hands are all right as well.
I think he was walking down the paddock holding a drink in a position that if you had a sort of wrist problem, you might not be able to. So he might well be okay. He wasn't off to the med centre, put it that way. I do wonder if it's to do with the really harsh regen that the Red Bull have got on that rear axle. We saw it through testing. They're really on the limit of locking the rears at all times.
And I think they probably calculated that the grip was a little higher. And, when you're maximizing qualifying, maximizing the braking, pushing the downshift, pushing everything, as soon as it locks up, you're done. There's no recovery. What happens is once the rears lock up, it's like pulling a handbrake, and here it comes.
Well, we can hear from the man himself. Here's Max Verstappen.
No, he just hit the brakes, and suddenly the rear axle just completely locked out of the blue. So I don't know why that happened or how that happened. I've never experienced something like that before in my career, that the rear axle just completely locked on. So yeah, then of course you can't save that anymore at that speed. And then yeah, even the barrier hit was not that bad. It was just the wheel just snapped out of my hands, and that's why I had to go to the medical center, but all good.
How are your hands? Because I saw you shaking them, so I felt...
Yeah, it's just when you knock something a bit funny, sometimes, you're like, that did hurt a bit, but yeah, it's all okay now.